welcome to my channel. My name is Julie. Today I'll be filming my first cooking video. A little bio about me. I'm a Vietnamese girl. I grew up here in Southern California. I've been cooking since I was 17 years old, and ever since I got into the kitchen, I just enjoy being in the kitchen. And I like to cook different dishes from Vietnamese to Italian to Mexican, or any dish that I try outside. And if I like it, I go home and I try to search for the recipe and make it. So enough about me. Today I will show you how to make a Vietnamese dish called cơm tấm. And cơm tấm is basically a broken rice. It's a traditional Vietnamese dish that's served with pork chops and a variety of other different proteins like shrimp, eggs, meatloaf, Vietnamese meatloaf. But today specifically, I will make it with pork chop, which is called xương nướng in Vietnamese, and tôm kho tàu, which is a caramelized shrimp in fish sauce and sugar, and top it with an egg. So the ingredients we're gonna need are about 4 pieces of pork chop, or about 1 pound of shrimp, 3 eggs, some cucumber, tomatoes, garlic, shallot, lemon, green scallions, some lemongrass and garlic that's already cut up here, 1 chili, some maple syrup. This is optional. I'll tell you more later. Some fish sauce and chicken powder, along with salt and sugar. A lot of these ingredients, you probably have them in your fridge already, so before making this dish, you might want to make a list of what you have and what you don't have, and then head to the store to save you some time. So the first thing we're going to do is marinate our pork chop. So first you're going to do is chop up some garlic. So for the pork chop, we're only going to need about 2 tablespoons of garlic, but I'm chopping more garlic so that I can use it to make my caramelized shrimp and my fish sauce. So we're going to just chop it up. I cut it thin slices before I chop it up so that it gets into tiny little pieces. Now we use butcher knife. So I have here 4 pieces of pork chop. This is the recipe for 4 pieces, and if you want to make more, you just double the seasoning amount. So what we're going to need today is about 2 tablespoons of garlic. I have 1 tablespoon in here already that I already chopped up and I had left in the fridge. And 2 tablespoons of lemongrass. Let me add 1 more spoon into here. And we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of our chopped up shallot. Okay. So in here I have 2 tablespoons of garlic, 2 tablespoons of shallot, and 2 tablespoons of lemongrass. Pour it all in here. And next we're gonna use our fish sauce. You can use almost any brand of fish sauce out there. Most of them would probably taste the same, except some of them are more saltier than others. So we're gonna put into 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. Okay. So next we're gonna add our chicken powder. And if you don't have this in your kitchen, you should definitely add one. Since chicken powder, chicken seasoning, it's good to marinate for everything. It's less saltier than salt, but it gives it a flavor. So get one. So we're gonna add in about 1 teaspoon of chicken powder. About 1 teaspoon. You don't want to put too much because chicken powder can get very salty. So this option is optional, but you can add in syrup, maple syrup, or honey if you want. It just give the pork chop a more honey glazed look, and it tastes amazing. So I have maple syrup here. I'll add in 1 tablespoon. So I'm gonna add in 2 tablespoons of sugar. You don't have to add the maple syrup if you don't have it at home. Just sugar, it's fine. So now we're going to use our tongs and we're going to mix it up. If you have gloves, then you can use your gloves, but I don't have gloves, so I'm just going to use my tongs today. And then, so you give it a pretty good mix. Make sure that all the pork chops are getting covered with the seasoning. Okay, so now we have our pork chop ready marinated. Now you can put it in the fridge for about 2 hours. The longer the better, so that the marinade can soak into the pork chop. What we're gonna do is peel the shrimp. Don't peel the shrimp all the way, just leave the tail, because it looks prettier when you put it on your plate of gum thumb. So now I have my shrimp peeled, and what I'm going to do is cut it in the middle, like that. And some people don't take out this black line, but I just like to take it out since it's cleaner. I mean, it's not that bad eating it, but I just like to take it out. So after I cut all the back and I cleaned it twice so that it's clean. So now you can leave it in the basket and leave it here so all the water drips down. So after we're done with that, we're gonna cut up some more of our vegetables, and we're gonna cut up our scallion to garnish on the gum thumb. So I just finished cutting my onions here. I can leave them on the side because I'll cook it at the same time when I cook the shrimp. So next we're going to cut up our cucumbers and tomato. I'm cutting it this way because my knife is not that sharp. So next we're going to cut up our cucumbers. I like to cut it sideways because it looks prettier. So everything is prepared now with our shrimp, our scallions, and our plate of veggies. So what I like to do next is make my fish sauce for my cơm tấm so that when I'm done with cooking everything, I don't have to go back and make my sauce. So first we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of sugar. And 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. And we're gonna add about 1 tablespoon of our minced garlic. And I used about 1 lemon. I'm gonna squeeze it in. I'm gonna add about 5 tablespoons of water. This is the way that I like to make my fish sauce. There are other ways you can make the fish sauce, but this is how I like to make them. So if you like spicy, you can add in 1 chili. Cut it into small pieces. Okay. You cannot eat cơm tấm without this mixed fish sauce. So now we're gonna start cooking our shrimp, caramelized shrimp. We're gonna add in about 1 tablespoon of oil. And now we're gonna add in our garlic. We're going to add in about a tablespoon of shallot that we had left over. So give that a good mix. We're going to add in our shrimp. We're going to add in about 2 tablespoons of sugar. And we'll mix that up. And we're gonna add in about 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. So there's one ingredient that I forgot to mention in the beginning is the shrimp paste. It's to give it the coloring and makes the shrimp more strong in aroma. So I'm gonna put about, I would say, 2 tablespoons full. And shrimp cooks really fast, so you don't need to cook shrimp for a long time. So after I'm done, I transfer the shrimp onto the plate. So there's a step that I skipped. I didn't show it in my video, but what I did was I took 1 cup of water and about half a tablespoon of cornstarch, or if you don't have cornstarch, you can use flour, rice flour. Mix it up in cold water, about 1 cup of cold water, and pour it into your pan of shrimp and mix it up for about 5 minutes, and then your shrimp should be ready, and it's gonna look like this. So after the shrimp is done, we'll start cooking our pork chop. So my pan is hot. I'm gonna add in about 3 tablespoons of oil. We gotta use a lot of oil because pork chop takes up some oil. And we're gonna add in our pork chop. Remember, we're gonna leave it on low heat because you don't want the pork to be cooked on the outside, but not cooked on the inside. And you don't want to eat your pork uncooked. Okay, so I fit about 4. So while we let it sit, we're gonna cook our scallion. Okay, so we're gonna add in about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then we're gonna add in our scallion. Mix that up real quick. We're gonna add in about a tiny teaspoon of salt. Mix that up. So now we're gonna cook eggs. So here you have it, a Vietnamese broken rice dish, cơm tấm, served with sườn nướng and tôm kho tàu và trứng chiên. It's basically a Vietnamese broken rice dish with pork chop, caramelized shrimp, and a sunny side up egg with fish sauce, side of fish sauce. So this is the first time that I film my cooking, and I've always been cooking but never had the chance to share with you guys my recipe. So if you guys like what you see, subscribe to my channel. No, try to do it again. No! Stop! Stop looking at me!
I'm looking at the film, I'm not even looking at you.